Hey, how are you?
Very good. Good to see you. How are you traveling? How's your tour been so far? You've been away for a month now in the bubble, but not played any competitive cricket. How tough's that been?
Yeah, no, to be fair, even though I haven't played, I've enjoyed it. Obviously looking at what's going on back home, to be even just being the sun, getting to play cricket, it's been great. And yeah, obviously not playing is not ideal, but hopefully at some stage I should get a chance.
And how do you deal with that mentally? How do you stay in the right frame of mind? Because it must be tough when the guy ahead of you is playing so well and guaranteed his place.
Yeah, Josh's been amazing. He's obviously a world class player, so there's no surprise there. But I think it's always one of those tricky things where, as a specialist position as a keeper, you never know what's going to happen. Whether it be the day before a game, the week before a game, whether Josh gets ill, Josh gets injured, anything like that. So it's one of those where you always have to be kind of on your guard, ready. So it's not the most fun place to be as a backup keeper, but it's one of those things. Yeah, you have to always expect something to happen, and then if it doesn't, then you just don't play.
He is, though, heading home after the first test, so potentially three tests for you with the gloves in India against India. How are you feeling about that prospect and that opportunity?
Yeah, I guess all the emotions, few nerves, a lot of excitement, a lot of anticipation. Obviously, like playing out in India is an incredible place to be able to play. Obviously, a star-studded lineup and a country that's so passionate about the game. So to get an opportunity out here would be amazing, and something I'm really looking forward to.
And is it the perfect opportunity to show what you can do on the toughest stage in Test cricket and really put some pressure on the selectors?
It's probably not the way I'm looking at it. I think I'm more just looking at it, just try and go and do well, not kind of think about anything outside of just performing. I haven't had as much cricket as I'd like in the last probably year and a half. So I think just try and get back into competitive cricket, and just give it my all.
And just finally, from me, your game seems to be suited to the subcontinent. You got that century against Sri Lanka. Do you feel quite confident in the conditions that you're going to face?
Yeah, I think I've spent a lot of time in the subcontinent and obviously had a bit of success in that Sri Lanka series a couple of years ago. So I feel like I know the sort of challenges that arise. Obviously, India's a little bit different, a few different things to concern yourself with. But I guess it's just before everything starts, trying to work that out. Speak to guys like Ruthie who have played here before and done well, and get ahead almost of the game, if I were to play.
Thank you. Go well.
Thank you very much.
Cheers, James. We'll go with Rory and then Ali Martin. Go ahead, Rory.
And Joss has said before, having you around really, really gets him on his toes and improves the standards, and I guess has him wanting to be better and do better. Can you just tell us a bit about that sort of relationship that you've got with Joss? And
sorry, I haven't got any of that.
Can anyone hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can try again. Benny, you all right?
Sorry, I didn't get the start of that.
Yeah, I was saying Joss has spoken about how having
you now.
Sorry, Joss has spoken about how having you around has raised the standards for him and made him want to be better and do better with the gloves. Just wonder if you could tell us about your side of that relationship and almost helping out your rival for the spot to be better and improve.
Yeah, I think like firstly, obviously, as a cricketer to watch and learn from, he's obviously one of the best around. So it's been a privilege to be able to watch him go about his business. But yeah, I think as a specialist position like a keeper, you obviously you get to work together a bit, and kind of learn and pass on experiences and try and help each other along. And yeah, it's one of those strange situations, but obviously you want everyone to do well, and succeed and be successful for England. And I think healthy kind of competition does obviously push that along. And then it's about whenever you do get your chance, trying to take it.
And this situation that we're in this winter with rest periods been sort of booked into the diary ahead of time, I guess it's quite unusual to be sitting there right now knowing pretty much that you're going to step into the team in the second test. How are you how are you sort of going to manage those emotions? Really, I guess your big test comeback, you might have expected to get noticed the day before a game, but you've got sort of about 3 weeks build up to know that you'll be stepping out.
Yeah, it's an unusual position. Obviously, I found out maybe 10 days ago or so that Joss was just doing the first test. So originally I thought I was potentially in line to play the last two. So that was kind of getting my head around, and my training revolves around trying to play those two. So yeah, one more potentially. Yeah, it's a different situation, but I guess just trying to prepare as well as I can in the next 2 weeks. And again, as I say, as a backup keeper, you never know what's going to happen, whether it be injury or illness. So I think having a mind on the first test, but kind of expecting a chance to come in a second, and just make sure whatever I get done work-wise and the mental side of the game before then puts me in a good place.
Thanks. And just to wonder, a quick one I wondered, with how well you batted in Sri Lanka, that when you made your test debut, do you feel like almost if you'd have entered into the team as a specialist batsman, that you'd have almost guaranteed yourself a year of cricket or something, and almost the runs weren't quite weighed as heavily as they might be because you were coming in as a keeper?
It's tricky. I think just the current setup of the English side, I think there's so much competition, and you've got a few guys who are established in the team who are world-class cricketers. So I guess you do have to accept that you're not going to get a long run potentially unless you nail it every game. So I think in international cricket, because of the way it is, guys come in and out quite a lot, and it's something that you have to kind of deal with and try and just perform when you do get a chance. But it's tricky because I guess I am a keeper, and in terms of like a specialist batter, if going down the route of the specialist batter, then other guys are ahead of me. So it's just, I guess, a case of when there is a keeping slot available, that's me. Yeah.
Thanks. Okay, Ali, go ahead.
Oh, hi, Ben. I don't know if you know, but in the most recent edition of the Cricketer magazine, Jack Russell has said that he thinks that standing up at the stumps, you're the most naturally gifted cricketer, wicketkeeper in the world, which is obviously high praise. I'm just wondering whether there's been a lot of praise for your wicket keeping. Is it nice to hear, or does it sort of add to the frustration of not being able to get more caps than you have done to date?
It's sort of like anything like that. It's obviously amazing to hear from someone like that. So it's one of those things. I think as a player, I find it difficult to kind of look at my game, and I guess I'm quite critical of my game as well. So I find it difficult to praise myself, if you like. So I think everything I do, I'm just trying to improve. I'm trying to be as good as I can. So yeah, I really struggle to see the positives or like let that sort of those comments in. So yeah, I think it's just like trying to not mess up, basically trying to do as good a job as I can and put the work in to do that, for me.
Cracking, cheers.
Okay, we'll go to John Etheridge and then Tim Wigmore.
Good morning. Obviously, you made that spectacular debut in Sri Lanka, man of the series and all the rest of it. But you've only played 2 Test matches since, and you've not played at all for 2 years. I was going to, how frustrating has that been?
Yeah, obviously, I think the way I started in Sri Lanka, I think I did expect to play for longer. I did expect to get more of a run at that stage. And I guess it's tricky to control your emotions in that sense, because I obviously got pretty high with everything going on then, and then it kind of gets taken away from you because I didn't get runs in the West Indies, and it happened so quickly. So it's quite a tricky thing to get your head around, I guess. And then, yeah, I didn't perform when I went back to Surrey as well as I would have liked. And yeah, had a bit of break from cricket, and then came back pretty fresh and performed all right. So I think it's one of those where I also know that the strength of competition with the keepers is so high that there are going to be times where I'm not playing, and that's something I just have to accept and be at peace with. And as I say, like if I do get a chance at any stage, just try and enjoy it and embrace it and do as well as I can.
Do you feel your keeping is at the same level now as it was in Sri Lanka? On that tour, not last month, but 2.5 years ago.
Yeah, no, I like to think so. It's one of those where I haven't been playing much cricket, but I've been training hard. There might obviously there might be a bit of rustiness, a little bit of time getting back into it, but I'm comfortable where my game's at, and yeah, I just want to go and perform.
If I could also just finally, have you pretty much been told that you will keep in the final 3 tests against India once Joss goes home?
No, I haven't had any conversations about it. Just kind of with Johnny not here as well for the first couple, kind of just putting 2 and 2 together. But I've not actually had any formal chats.
So obviously, Johnny does come back for the last 2, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does.
Okay, yes, thank you.
Okay, we'll go with Tim and then Paul Newman, and then we'll finish with Vivek Krishnan.
Hi, Ben. Do you think the situation was kind of explained to you clearly enough when you were left out in the West Indies, and then you seemed to fall a bit below in the pecking order?
Just trying to think. I think at the time it was kind of just balance of the side. Obviously, I had a couple of bad games, and then balance of the side, and they wanted to shift. So at the time, it wasn't necessarily like they didn't say a reason why I was dropped, more just they wanted to go with a different balance of the team. And then, yeah, I guess like guys that have done it since, like Joss has done so well, that there hasn't been a look in since, which is fair enough.
Were you given specific things to try and improve on?
Not actually, I don't think so at the time. I think just at the time it was literally just we want to try. I think it was get another batter in, and it worked better with Johnny. I think keeping to get that balance better.
But like, were there conversations since about, I guess, with the management about your first 5 tests and what went well, which I know obviously went well overall, but also things that you could improve on further or anything?
I think always, yeah. I think obviously the fact that I've always been picked for subcontinent tours would probably suggest that they think I'm better against playing spin than seam. But yeah, that'd probably be one area that they would think. I'm not too sure.
All right, we'll move on. Paul next, please.
Hi, Ben. Do you think this is a chance to establish yourself in the side again if you do get those 3 tests in a row? Or is it a case that however well you do, Joss will come back into the side as soon as he's available again, do you think?
Yeah, I would expect it's probably a case of Joss is the number 1. And I'm just seeing these 3 games as a chance to try and stake my claim and do as well as possible and enjoy playing for England and enjoy the experience. But I think it would very much be a case of Joss is number 1.
So that must be quite hard, knowing that you know however well you do, the place might still probably not be yours.
Yeah, I guess you could look at it that way. I'm also looking at it after getting dropped last time. You don't really know if you're going to play again or get another chance to wear the shirt. So I think I'm approaching it more as I've got a potential chance of playing 3 more tests for England and see where it goes and see what happens. I guess try and have that positive outlook on it.
Thank you.
And the last one from Vivek.
Hello, Ben. Ben, from your experience in Sri Lanka, could you outline what are the specific challenges that you find of wicket keeping in India and in the subcontinent? And also, India have generally preferred Wriddhiman Saha in Indian conditions since he's a better wicket keeper, while Rishabh Pant has played in overseas tests. From an opponent's perspective, would you prefer a stronger batsman who might drop 1 or 2 catches, or a stronger wicket keeper? In terms of the balance.
Yeah, I think firstly the difficulties in Sri Lanka, obviously, or in Asia in general, are obviously standing up to spin for long periods of time, having to concentrate, knowing that the ball is going to spin sharply, so you're going to have to be on the ball to react to it. And then I think standing back is also very challenging, just purely because you're so much closer than be. We can kind of shoot them through and cut down that reaction time for edges and things. Is a real challenge, and probably I find it as hard standing back as up out in Asia. And then I think with the battle of the keeper against the batter, I think you need a blend of both. Obviously you can't have someone that can't keep or makes loads of mistakes if they're scoring loads of runs, but at the same time, however good a keeper is, they're going to have to contribute with the bat. So I think it depends on a few things. Depends on the balance of the side. If you've got a batting lineup that's banging out 600 every time, then you can go for a specialist keeper. But if you want a frontline batter, then potentially you sacrifice a bit of the keeping ability.
Okay, thanks everyone. Thanks Ben, I appreciate it. Have a good day everyone. Cheers. Cheers. Bye-bye.